The announcement hit the internet like a lightning bolt, one of those rare headlines that makes people stop scrolling, blink twice, and ask, wait, they did what? Because in a year filled with celebrity feuds, canceled tours, and viral rants, Ashanti and Nelly, yes, husband and wife, parents to little baby Kareem, stepped forward and dropped a gesture so massive that even political commentators were chiming in. According to reports coming out of St. Louis, the couple quietly cleared $700,000 in school lunch debt across 103 schools, wiping out balances families had been struggling with for years. For many parents, this wasn't just generosity, it was liberation. What made the moment even more striking was how it surfaced. Fans believe the story wasn't leaked by the couple's team. Instead, a local educator allegedly shared a message in a private Facebook group celebrating the surprise donation. Within hours, screenshots traveled across TikTok, and someone tweeted, "A rapper did more for kids this week than half of Congress," a line that would spiral into thousands of reposts. By the time mainstream outlets caught up, St. Louis families were already describing the act as life-changing, adding that no child should walk into a cafeteria worried about debt again. The deeper fans dug, the clearer the emotional punch became. Teachers from across the district began sharing their reactions, some saying they cried in their classrooms, others admitting they had been quietly paying out of their own pockets for years just to keep certain students fed. One middle school counselor wrote that this was what real community looks like, a comment that ended up being used in at least 3 different headlines. The moment wasn't just charitable, it felt symbolic, as if the couple had intentionally reached into a system that often punishes children for circumstances beyond their control. Behind the scenes, insiders claim this wasn't a spur-of-the-moment act, but something the couple had been planning since the summer. Allegedly, after baby Kareem was born, they became increasingly vocal about wanting to raise him with an understanding of service, not just fame. Friends close to the family say Nelly's St. Louis roots played a major role. He remembers classmates using free lunch tickets, remembers kids who skipped meals, remembers the embarrassment some felt. It's reported that he wanted to do something with real impact, something physical, measurable, and immediate. Ashanti, for her part, has always been known for her gentle energy, but fans noticed she became even more protective and community-minded after becoming a mother. She allegedly researched national school lunch debt trends and was stunned at how widespread the issue has become. Some sources say she even pushed for expanding the initiative beyond St. Louis eventually, turning the couple's home city into a starting point rather than the finish line. Whether that expansion comes or not, people online can't stop praising her compassion, with one viral comment reading, "This is the first time I've seen a celebrity couple feeding families instead of feeding drama." As the story spread, the tone online shifted from surprise to gratitude to almost revered. Users on X, formerly Twitter, began stitching together compilation threads of every philanthropic thing Nelly has done for St. Louis over the years. One fan even highlighted his annual Thanksgiving giveaways, writing, "He never stopped showing up for the city that raised him." Meanwhile, Ashanti supporters started circulating clips of her past interviews where she spoke about wanting to do the kind of work that outlives the fame. The narrative wasn't just about charity, it was about intention, consistency, and heart. But as always, the internet loves a twist. And this time, the twist was actually wholesome, because instead of turning the moment into drama, users began celebrating the couple's relationship itself. Comments like, "Husband and wife feeding families? That's the plot twist we needed," started trending. People began calling them a power couple in the purest sense, not because of wealth or chart success, but because of kindness. One post simply said, "Compassion just hit harder than any diss track ever could." Still, as with any viral moment, speculation followed. Some wondered if this was preparation for a larger philanthropic foundation. Others believed the couple might be working on something new behind the scenes, something bigger than a single donation, something that could shift the national conversation about school meals entirely. Whether these theories are accurate or not, they added a layer of suspense that fans ate up instantly. And then came the emotional responses from parents. Reportedly, several families reached out to local stations, sharing how the debt had been weighing on them for years. One mother described hiding lunch notices in drawers because she simply didn't have the money to clear them. Another admitted she'd skipped meals so her kids could eat at home. The moment Nelly and Ashanti wiped the slate clean wasn't just charity. She said it felt like someone finally saw them, finally understood the pressure. But the part of the story that really set the internet ablaze came late in the evening, when a local volunteer posted a cryptic message hinting that this massive donation might only be phase one of a much larger plan. They didn't elaborate, they didn't explain, they just wrote, if people knew what's coming next, they'd really lose it. And with that, fans were left buzzing, theories spreading like wildfire, wondering exactly what this couple had moving in motion. Hours after that mysterious Phase 1 post began circulating, fans started digging for clues like detectives on a mission. Old livestream clips resurfaced where Nelly casually mentioned wanting every kid in St. Louis to feel supported, not forgotten. Meanwhile, Ashanti had once hinted in an interview that motherhood made her rethink the kinds of legacy projects she wanted to leave behind. Together, those comments fueled the rumor mill, with fans believing the school lunch debt wipeout could be the first step in a citywide initiative targeting child poverty. Nothing was confirmed, of course, but speculation alone was enough to send social media into a frenzy. Then, a local journalist allegedly revealed that several schools had recently been contacted by an unnamed philanthropic rep asking for updated counts of unpaid meal balances, expired cafeteria accounts, and emergency lunch usage. The timing lined up so closely with the couple's donation that people began connecting dots. Some wondered if the couple planned to adopt schools for long-term funding. Others theorized about meal voucher programs, mentorship projects, or even after-school food banks. Every hour brought a new wave of theories, and each one only strengthened the belief that this wasn't a one-time moment, it was a movement forming in real time. But as the excitement grew, something unexpected happened. Teachers began sharing handwritten notes from students, notes they said they had kept in drawers for years. One read, "Sometimes I don't eat lunch because I don't want to get my mom in trouble." Another said, "Thank you for making it less scary to come to school." The stories were heartbreaking, raw snapshots of what this debt truly represented, and with each note, the magnitude of Ashanti and Nelly's gesture became clearer. This wasn't just about numbers, it was about dignity. Meanwhile, the couple remained silent, posting nothing beyond their original gratitude-filled message. Fans read that silence as intentional, believing they were avoiding any impression of self-promotion. Instead, the focus stayed where they wanted, on the families. Analysts praised the restraint, saying it gave the story room to breathe. But behind closed doors, insiders allegedly revealed that the couple had been flooded with messages from parents, city leaders, and nonprofit workers. Some thanked them, some asked for help, and a few simply told them they had changed their lives. One insider even hinted that the couple had been meeting with education advocates for months, reviewing data, identifying which schools faced the harshest meal deficits, and learning where support was desperately needed. According to that source, Ashanti broke down crying during one briefing after hearing how many kids skip school because they fear being shamed at lunch. Fans later noticed she liked several posts about ending cafeteria punishment culture, adding even more fuel to the fire. If that rumor was true, it explained why this donation felt so intentional rather than symbolic. Then came a fan-made TikTok that unexpectedly went viral. It stitched together clips of Nelly performing Just a Dream, overlaid with the words, "He dreamed of giving back. Today he did." The video racked up millions of views in less than a day. The top comment read, "A rapper and his wife just did more for kids in 1 week than politicians did all year." Another said, "When you feed children, you're feeding the future." Moments like that shifted the tone from shock to admiration, transforming the couple's act into a source of pride for the entire city. By the next morning, the city of St. Louis was buzzing. Parents reportedly gathered outside several schools just to hug staff and celebrate the news. Teachers exchanged emotional high fives in hallways. Cafeteria workers cried during shifts. And though Ashanti and Nelly weren't physically present, the gratitude that filled those buildings felt directed straight at them. One principal allegedly announced over the intercom that students were starting the semester debt-free, shame-free, and full of opportunity. Videos of kids cheering in classrooms spread like wildfire. But online, another conversation started brewing, one that added tension to the otherwise uplifting moment. Critics questioned why school lunch debt exists at all, arguing that the couple shouldn't have had to solve a national issue. Some said the gesture highlighted deeper problems in the system. Others insisted celebrities shouldn't carry the emotional burden of filling government gaps. While not negative towards Ashanti or Nelly, the debate added friction, turning their good deed into the centerpiece of a larger moral conversation. And through it all, the couple stayed silent. But a few hours later, however, a new detail dropped, and it changed everything. A school board member allegedly revealed that the couple requested one specific condition when making the donation: anonymity. According to the source, they originally wanted families to never know who erased their debt. Only when the news slipped out through teachers did their names emerge. That revelation hit fans like a plot twist in a movie, unexpected, sincere, and deeply telling. It reframed the entire story. This wasn't a PR move. This wasn't branding. This was heart. And just when the internet thought it had processed everything, the same volunteer who teased Phase 1 returned online with another message, one even more cryptic. It said, "The part that hasn't been revealed yet, it's bigger